in the land of Midgard, which I now call my home. Some call me the Ashen God, the bringer of Ragnarok. In my homeland of Greece, many called me the ghost of Sparta, the god of war. I wish only for the name my mother gave to me, Kratos. My son, Atreus, is on a personal journey, and I, after great reflection in Valhalla, have accepted a great responsibility. It is a burden I have carried before, to lead, to rule. But I will not repeat the mistakes of my past. I will earn no such name as the ghost of Sparta again. Reflecting on my life and facing my past in Valhalla, it helped to clear the mind, which is why I have decided to write about my life. I wish to further clear my mind in preparation for the duties that await me, so that I may keep myself on the right path. I hope it may serve as a tale of caution to any future warriors who would value glory above all else, or as a warning to any who would allow vengeance to consume them, as I did. I am no writer, but I have the treasured counsel of Mimir to guide my words. Thank you, old friend. Atreus, there is much of my life that I have not yet told you. There is much I do not wish you to know, but that you deserve to know. If these writings are how you learn of these things, then let the echoes of my old life serve as lessons. And know that I am proud of the man you have become. In the land of Greece was a city of warriors, a mighty place where strength and honor were respected above all else, where boys were trained for battle as soon as they could hold a spear, where I was born and raised. Sparta. My mother, Callisto, birthed and raised me on her own. I did not know who my father was, only that he had left my mother with me and not returned. I would later come to know him, all too well, but I will speak of that later. A Spartan childhood was far from an easy one. At the age of 7, we were taken from our homes and began the Agoge, the training ritual that all Spartan men were raised in. The weak were left to die, but the strong thrived. We fought each other for scraps of food or starved. We marched, trained, killed, hunted. Like all Spartans, I was forged from a young age into a formidable weapon, an aggressive warrior, a loyal soldier. Combined with the Olympian blood that I did not know flowed through my veins, such an upbringing sent me early down my doomed path of rage and glory. And yet I was not an unloving child or an unloved one. My mother was dear to me, and my mother and I were not always alone. A few years after I was born, my father dared to visit my mother again in secret. When, I do not know, but my younger brother was born, Deimos. His striking birthmarks would prove more significant than I or my mother could have ever imagined. I helped my mother raise Deimos. In Sparta, of course, this meant training him to fight.
We'll win this time!
I loved my brother. I wanted him to be as strong as I was. My lessons to him were harsh, rigorous, the Spartan way.
You let your guard down, boy!
I was fierce, already a Spartan, through and through. But never did I shame my brother for his defeats. Never.
A Spartan warrior never lets his back hit the ground. Even in death, a Spartan stands tall for battle. You are a Spartan, are you not?
Yes, Kratos.
I always pulled him back to his feet. I wanted only for him to be stronger. My childhood in Sparta was one of violence, combat, and survival, but also brotherhood, loyalty, and kinship. All Spartans were brothers in arms, but one who is your brother also in blood is sacred. It is always Deimos that I remember most fondly about growing up. We sparred every day, and would have continued to do so if not for that day. Sparta had never seen destruction like it. Fire rained from the skies. Beasts tore through the streets. Then, shrouded by darkness, 2 riders came from the flames, and they came for Deimos.
Ikali! Patronoles in Sparta, Fera Ivan Kali. Itera! Ines and Memralis.
Kratos! Help! Kratos!
Forgive me.
Deimos.
I did not know who the riders were. I did not know why they had brought such fury to Sparta. I knew only that they had taken my little brother, and I had failed to stop them. I will say only for now that, though I could not know it, this was fate at work. It would be the first of many seeds planted for my hatred of the gods of Olympus, for my vengeance against them, and for all that would come of it. In the years that followed, my mother convinced me that Deimos was gone. I did the only thing I could. Allowed it to shape me. Never again would I be too weak to save a brother. To this day, my red tattoo remains a reminder of my childhood, of my fallen brother. Now I too was a marked warrior. Like all Spartan boys, I joined the army when I came of age, driven by Deimos' memory and unknowingly fueled by an Olympian bloodline. I quickly became one of Sparta's most formidable warriors. My methods were brutal and effective. My enemies knew no mercy. There was no chance for glory I would not take. I was, for better or worse, the perfect Spartan. My ferocity and skill in battle were unmatched. I fought with anger, with brutality, and with Spartan pride. It earned the respect and admiration of my fellow Spartans, and I soon ascended the ranks to become a captain. It was during this time that I met Lysandra, the woman who became my wife. She was as strong of mind as any Spartan, but she had a warm heart. She was as wise and as caring as she was beautiful. We had a daughter, Calliope, so much like her mother, as pure a soul as could be. How I loved them both, so dearly, and still do. Now, my fondest memories of Sparta are not on the battlefield, but of home. Watching Calliope run and play over the rolling hills, painted bright by warm sunlight, sitting in the cool shade of a tree and carving her flute. How she loved that flute. I remember the song she used to play very well. My life was good. I was an accomplished and respected captain of Sparta, and for 8 years, I had a beautiful home and family to return to. But it is only in looking back that I appreciate this. At the time, it was not enough. Instilled from birth, my first love was always battle. I was still young, still out to prove myself to the world. As a captain, I became increasingly relentless and savage in my tactics. My lust for glory was inhuman. I loved my family deeply and with all of my heart, but I was a Spartan above all else. It is with great shame that I look back on my neglect of Lysandra and Calliope in my endless pursuit of conquest. Battle after battle, slaughter after slaughter, I grew arrogant, foolish, bloodthirsty. I only worsened as, over the years, my command grew from 50 men to thousands, every single one fiercely loyal to me. I should have listened to Lysandra.
How much is enough, Kratos? When will it end?
When the glory of Sparta is known throughout the world.
The glory of Sparta. You did this for yourself.
With my upbringing and my hidden nature, I was never destined to become anything other than a warrior. But the battle I should have been fighting was not to allow this to warp me into a monster. There was no reason for my savagery, my cruelty. I had been possessed by my own passion for battle. Lysandra and Calliope deserved much more than the feral, raging beast I had grown into. One fateful night, a mighty horde of barbarians marched across Greece, and they came for Sparta. Even my thousands of men were greatly outnumbered by them. They fell upon us without mercy. We were fighters without equal, disciplined warriors who feared nothing. But with their sheer numbers and their barbarism, we were quickly overwhelmed. This was no battle. It was a massacre. I lay at the barbarian king's feet, bloodied and beaten, a hammer's swing away from death. I was a young, arrogant captain. I lived for battle. Such crushing defeat was humiliating, unacceptable. Victory was worth any sacrifice. Any. I did not fear death. There was no wound greater than my pride. I had once thought this the only reason I did what I did. But I also knew that had I accepted defeat, the barbarians would have marched on Sparta and the rest of Greece. If even we could not hold them off, then who knows what they would have wrought. In my desperation, in my shame, I called out to the god of war.
Ares! Destroy my enemies, and my life is yours!
I watched on in foolish, arrogant awe as Ares appeared. With the crashing of Olympian thunder, the battle seemed to halt. Thousands of relentless, bloodthirsty warriors on this battlefield. And not one dared defy the god of war. I did not know that Ares had his own designs, and that I had just volunteered myself as his champion. He studied me with this secret purpose, and heeded my foolish plea.
My life is yours, Ares. From this day, I shall carry forth your will.
My fate was sealed. My soul was doomed. I was granted my victory. Ares saw the barbarians massacred in the most vicious and sadistic of ways. I should have questioned why my call for the aid of a god was answered so easily. I should have feared pledging my life to such a cruel and destructive beast. Instead, I only reveled in the power that I now had on my side. I felt unstoppable. Ares wasted no time forging me as he saw fit. A mere sword would not befit the servant of the god of war. I was his weapon now, his furious hand in the world of mortals. The blades of chaos, forged in the very fires of Hades. These were to be my new weapons and my chains. Ares forged his new weapon well. Under my new master, I became more mindless than ever. I had tasted the power of a god, turned certain death for my men into triumph. It plagued my mind. If I had been savage or ruthless before selling my soul, I was about to become a monster. My men and I were senseless. We razed villages that had lost Ares' favor. I murdered people that he was displeased with. The glory of Sparta was no longer an excuse. I was nothing but a mindless beast on the leash of Ares. The hundreds of Spartans I had left after the barbarians' massacre were still fiercely loyal to me, and to our new Olympian master. With them, I was a scourge upon the land of Greece. I had surrendered my humanity, but I would soon pay the heaviest of prices for my many terrible sins.
They've built this temple to offer prayers to Athena! This entire village stands as an affront to Lord Ares! Burn this village! Burn it to the ground!
Just another village that had angered the god of war. Just more heretics who had to burn in his name. Just another fall deeper under his control. I could not have known the nightmare that awaited me.
Beware, Kratos. The dangers in the temple are greater than you know.
Another warning I should have heeded fell on deaf ears. I pushed the oracle aside and stormed the temple. Those screams, they pierced the haze of madness that clouded my mind. And I cannot describe what I saw. Glory, power, victory. In an instant, they all meant nothing. My beloved Lysandra, my dear little Calliope, I am sorry.
My wife, my child, how? They were left in Sparta.
You are becoming all I'd hoped you'd be, Kratos. Now, with your wife and child dead, nothing will hold you back. You'll become even stronger. You will become death itself.
Ares had planned for this blood crime to forever seal my oath to him. He had hoped it would sever my last ties to my humanity. Instead, any influence he had over me disintegrated into hatred.
Ares!
All that mattered to me were my beloved wife and child. And it was not until they lay butchered in my arms, by my own blade, that I realized that. It is only fitting then that with my punishment, they would never leave me again.
From this night forward, the mark of your terrible deed will be visible to all. The ashes of your wife and child will remain fastened to your skin, never to be removed.
My body became a monument to my failures. My tattoo, a memorial for the brother I could not save. The hellish blades chained permanently to my arms, binding me to my pact with the tyrannical war god. And now my very skin, white with the ashes of my own loved ones, was all that was left of them, because of me. It was this ghastly appearance and my fearsome reputation that would see me earn that terrible name. The ghost of Sparta